Hey everyone, I'm back again. So today what I'd like to talk about is the plan. For those of you who have been with me for a while, you'll remember me saying I like to be free and wild and free and do whatever I want. Um, well, you were right. That ended up costing me. And it's actually still costing me because that apartment upstairs still isn't rented. So we miss the window here for really when people are looking. It's a college town. So yeah, it's still not rented, and it is actually costing me every month that it's on. We're going into the heating season too, so it's going to continue to cost me. So what I want to talk about today is the plan that I have and how I have gone about deciding what it is I'm going to tackle first versus what it is I'm going to wait on, and how I kind of keep track of what needs to be done at least early on. So I'm going to take you room by room. I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do in each room, and a little bit about how I'm going to keep track of it and the thought process. So thanks for joining me today. We're going to get going. All right, so I'm going to interrupt the video real quick. It is now later the same day. What you're going to watch coming up next and what you just saw was recorded earlier in the day, is I got to share something super cool. So my wife and kids, they watched the video where I explained the bin organizational system. And what they did was they actually went out and got me some giant hefty bins. So a couple of the bins that I had were the old style, didn't last very well or clasp very well, kind of junky ones. They bought me 2 new bins. They snuck them in here. They moved everything over to them. And the funny thing is, I had no idea. I actually went into the bin. I grabbed a towel out of it. And of course, I left it open. And I had no clue anything had changed. So this was fantastic, right? And I kind of feel bad for not noticing. She had to tell me about it, but like super appreciative. I actually feel I'm not wearing the right hat today, but super cool. Anyway, just wanted to share, and I will let you get back to the video. All right, so to start our journey today, we got this room in front of the house. And this room, I think, was probably used as kind of like a sitting room or a sunroom or something like that. Probably not historically used as a bedroom, but let's face it, this is a rental, right? This room, for a space this big, like this needs to be a bedroom. It needs to be part of what comes with the apartment. So we got to tackle this. We got to make this a livable bedroom. So what are we going to do? Well, first off, I want to share with you my list. So I've decided that when I first get started, everything's kind of on the table. So while I'm in the room, I just look around, right? And I just say, okay, these are the things that need to be done. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a picture of these. And then when I get home, I'm going to throw it up in a spreadsheet, and then I'll be able to move things around and really solidify the order. But for the most part now, this is just all of the things that I can see right now that need to be done. Doesn't count like the things that I might find if I have to pull apart a wall or something like that. But for now, this is a great list because this gives me a good sense of all the big ticket stuff that I'm going to have to take care of. And this list, right, it includes removing this old, I guess it's a vinyl, I don't know what it is, but this old flooring. Obviously I need to patch the ceiling, I need to do all the windows, paint the ceiling in here, clean the walls, paint the walls. If this is a bedroom, then I'm going to need to block this off somehow. I'm going to have figure out a plan for that. And this is a little bit unique because this used to go into the upstairs apartment, so I got to block off that door there, and install a door here, right? Because people love bedroom doors. Quite a bit to do in this room, but having a list is almost empowering. And honestly, like, it's not that long. There's a lot more that's going to go into this stuff, but overall, it's not a huge list. So I'm hopeful. I'm feeling good about this room. Let's go on to the next one. All right, so right off the room we were just looking at, we have the living room. And I'm actually feeling pretty good about this room. This room is going to need a lot of paint. The floors are going to need to be redone. I do know that I've got some patching over there where the floor doesn't quite match up, and maybe a little bit over there. But overall, I'm not super concerned about this one. I still have my list. It's only a few things. You probably can't see it because of the glare. There we go. But it's definitely dirty in here. Like, it's really dirty. So I'm going to have to do a lot of cleaning before I can paint, which is just something that I'm going to have to account for. All right, next up. All right, so this room is very similar to the last one. For the most part, it's just cleaning, paint, and windows and flooring in here. I do have a few things that I want to patch up here. So there's a bump out here from where they plastered in the chimney. So I'm just going to cut that out. I'm going to cut the chimney back a little bit because it's not in use. And I'm going to grind that down and then replaster over it. Honestly, I probably don't really need to do that, but I'm going to do it anyway because it bugs me that it's out like that. And I'm going to be patching in here across rooms anyway, so I'll have the stuff. And in here, same as before, I've got my list. So gonna take a picture, gonna bring that, put that on a spreadsheet, gonna put it all in order. All right, so in case you couldn't tell, we're going in order from least to do to most to do. So this is not the worst room in the house because we've got, let's see, at least two left. Yeah, we got two left. So in here, you know, I got some stuff. I'm gonna pull down this ceiling. I'm gonna put up some drywall. I haven't figured out if I'm gonna put anything in between there yet to deaden sound or anything like that. I do have all of these windows to replace. I've got to do the floor, and this floor is likely a luxury vinyl product or something like that. I've got to delete that door opening there on the other side. There used to be an opening too. I got rid of that, so I just need to deal with that now. And behind the door here is an entrance to the bathroom. And I am not sure if I'm going to keep this at this point. Honestly, it may be easier to just leave it there, but I am going to need to do a lot of work in here. We'll get to that in a sec. So here we are in the kitchen. If I'm being honest, I was pretty overwhelmed with this room, just walking through it repeatedly and just kind of, as I go by, always thinking about how much work it's going to be to get this going. Once I wrote down and made a plan, I'm not feeling super bad about it anymore. At least I'm not feeling anxious about it. So, you know, when it comes down to it, I got some big things to do in here, but it's all just kind of big repetitive stuff. That list includes replacing the floors. I have some shoring up, I think, to do over in the corner where it's, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to pull down some of the, if you can see under the window there, that shelving, I guess, whatever it is along the wall. I'm going to replace the countertops here. I'm going to paint pretty much everything here just because it's super dark and the colors just don't work here for anyone. It doesn't work for me. And I have super low standards, super low. And then here, I think what I'm going to do is replace these upper cabinets with something a little bit more modern. I'm at least going to replace the countertop here because that's all busted up and banged up. It looks terrible. Here, though, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this. I might try and get away with painting it. I might end up replacing it. Not sure yet, but it's part of what's on the list. So at least it's accounted for. Other than that, there's not a ton in here that I'm super worried about. Like I said, it's a room that looks like it needs a lot of work, but when you actually make a list, write it down, and think about what needs to be done, it's not, or at least for me, it's not as overwhelming. Although, honestly, there's a good amount of work in here. All right, so that brings us to the last room here, the bathroom. And I gotta be honest, I don't know what I'm gonna do in here yet. I don't, and this is where I'm kind of like, you know, saying one thing, but kind of doing another. I've never done a gut job on a bathroom before, and if ever there was one that needed it, it's this one. So here, my ceiling is falling in. I know I've got rot on the floor by the tub. The flooring here is in rough shape. It's super dirty. It'll need to be replaced. This whole wall here, all the stuff that's kind of attached to it. This backer for the shower. Actually, it looks like, it looks like they might have put a backer over a backer. This is the only thing that I'm hoping, like, that's a perfect fit. I don't know what that is. It's some sort of tub material. This is the thing, though, that I'm hoping I can salvage. Everything else, though, I'm thinking has to probably come out. Yeah, so it's all in rough shape. One pleasant surprise, though. So I had never seen this outlet here on the wall before. Wow. I don't know how old it is. It's a New Tone model 8310. It looks like it could be 50 years old, but it's still like it's moving a lot of air and it sounds good. I'll probably try and, well, first off, I'll try and figure out where that vents to, because this is a first floor apartment and there's nothing up there but other rooms. So I'm a little bit worried. Regarding the order that I'm going to do all this stuff in, I've already decided that I'm going to tackle the windows first because it's getting colder here and I want to get them done. It's going to help with the heating bill, and as soon as those are done, I'm going to feel a lot better about not having this place rented. So those first, and then I'm going to start working on the demolition. So my goal here is really just to get everything out of here. I've got the floor to remove in this room here. I got a lot of stuff to take out of the kitchen. Really what I'd like to do is just kind of get a sense for what I have to work with here. Ultimately, I'm going to have to buy the right materials for the space, and once I get all of the stuff out of here, I think I'll have a better sense. I'll better be able to do that. So once I'm done with the demo, my plan is to do one thing, but across all of the rooms. If I paint, well, I'm going to go through and I'm going to wash all the walls first for the entire apartment. I'm going to paint all the walls. I'm going to paint the ceilings. I'm going to get one big chunk of everything done all at once, if that makes sense. I'm trying to be a little bit more thoughtful in my approach so that I don't end up having to go back and forth between, a ton of different things all the time and constantly context shift. All right, so that's really it, because this is a smaller apartment than the one upstairs. I have some bigger stuff, I think, to do in here, but I'm very hopeful there will be fewer surprises because, we replaced the roof. Remember this? Remember all of the leaking we had here? Remember the stack that we had to replace over there? We've done most of the work that could lead to surprises, so I'm very hopeful we won't find any. And I've got my list, right? So on each of the rooms, as I shared before, I've got my list of things that I need to do. That's kind of a superpower, right? Because that's what I have that's telling me what needs to be done. And if ever I forget or I just feel anxious, right? I can go and I can look at that list, whether it be here or in a spreadsheet or, I print it out and hang it in the rooms. And as I go through, I can just cross stuff off. And visually I'll see progress, but there's nothing like having something crossed off on a list. Oh, sometimes I just write stuff down just to cross it off. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed me sharing how I'm going to go about doing this renovation. Hope it helps you. If it does, right, if you're interested in seeing more content like this, if you're interested in kind of following the renovation, please like and subscribe, right? This is probably going to be a good 6 months or so, if I'm being honest, and, should be a good journey, right? So share it with me. See you next time.